time is now 5 p.m. and I call this administrative meeting of the City of Ozark to order. We are beginning this evening with a presentation of the Kiwanis Christmas Parade Award. So I'm going to invite up John Colley of the Kiwanis Club.
So with the Kiwanis Club, I'm the president of the club and the one in charge of the Christmas parade. It is always a fun event. I enjoy doing it, have a lot of fun, but it's always fun to see it over too. There's a lot of moving parts to that parade. Heather Cohen is the cream of the crop. Mary, you should never don't let her lead the city. Denise Ellis, where's she back there too? I mean, they're just top shelf. Thank you all. So we do have the awards for the winners. We'll start with the honorable mentions, and I don't see everybody. I know that they're supposed to be here, but that's okay. So as I call your name, we'll just come up here and we'll just do one picture, if that's okay with everybody. So, first honorable mention goes to Roy's Tires. Pam Roy's here, so thank you all. Thank you, so Roy. Y'all just kind of stand right there and hold that. We're going to get a group picture. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yes. The next one, I don't know if they're Concrete Concepts. Are they here? There they are, right there. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I told the judges, that they're friends of mine and everything. I said, the funeral home cannot win. So, and we get them in. So just so you know. All right, All In Credit Union. Do we have any representative from All In today? Here. No. Okay. All right. So next we have, right here. Third place goes to Beacon of Hope. Any representative from Beacon? There they are, right there. And y'all doing these floats, I mean, we see a lot of creativity and it makes me feel good, that we have this much participation from our city. So thank you very much. Okay, yes. So next we have. Second place goes to P River Electric Cooperative. Is up there. He is also a current employee also. So yeah, so there you go. Thank you. And first place goes to, and they're not here at all, Sander Plumbing and Electric. They were the first place with their cannon. And I understand the cannons already go off like they're supposed to, but still I think it scared the judges pretty good when they did it. So yeah, we thank y'all so much, the Kiwanis Club. We appreciate everybody participating, and of course the city. Ozzy's back there. Thank you, Ozzy, for your guys helping. They were definitely a lifesaver to help us this time. So, all right, Mayor, if y'all want to come in, we get a picture of all of us together. Council, we do right there. Yeah. I'll stand right here. Randy, come on up here.
I'll stand there by Roy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Today I only have 3 minutes, so I think we made it. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Thank you all. I'll just echo what John said. The Christmas parade is a wonderful evening, and it is a true collaboration between the Kiwanis Club, the City of Ozark, and it is made even more wonderful by the contributions of the floats of the citizens, of the private citizens that make it wonderful. So thank you all. At this time, we will review the agenda for the 5:30 meeting. So So after the call to order and the prayer and pledge of allegiance, the minutes from the regular council meeting that was held on January 21st, 2025 will be read. Council members, do you have any comments or questions on those minutes?
No.
And that's the agenda for this evening. So at this time, I will go out into the audience. Are there any department heads that have any comments or questions on any of the agenda items this evening? Is there anyone in the audience that has any comments or questions on the agenda items this evening? Is there anyone in the audience that has any comments or questions on any subject in particular? Yes. Yes, sir. If you'd like to come up to the microphone and state your name for us.
Sure. My name is Rick Steed, and I'm a citizen from Ozark. I won't go through all this, but in general, I'd just like to make a general observation about possible reduction in federal funding to Ozark, and also about my fears that some of our sales tax base may be adversely impacted by changes to federal policies. I'm also concerned that Ozark might need to take an additional physical responsibilities as the federal government plans to downsize or eliminate federal programs that are currently very beneficial to Ozark citizens. I'd then like to make a general request, not anything formal, but that the city begin contingency planning to address potential budget shortfalls or additional responsibility. After reviewing some of the statements by the incoming Trump administration, I asked Chris Peters to give me a rough estimate on how much money we got from the federal government last year in FY 2024. Chris was very helpful, and believe he stated that the city received approximately $1.7 million in 2024. Of course, this doesn't include any federal grants to those, our Board of Education or the utility boards or anything like that. But he was very prudent in budgeting for this year, and he put in very little federal money, assumed very little federal money, except that there was a large federal grant for improvement to the city's tennis courts. And since this money came from funds already appropriated by Congress and approved by President Biden, it was assumed that this was a safe and reliable spending source. However, recent events have put that grant money in question. About a week ago, the new Trump administration put a pause to expenditure of federal grant money previously appropriated, pending a review from the new administration. There was a great deal of confusion about the scope of this order, causing a federal judge to issue an injunction against it, and then causing the Trump administration to rescind the order. However, based on news reports and administration statements, I believe that the Trump administration still intends to impound or refuse to spend prior appropriations that it doesn't like. This will likely result in legal actions and questions of constitutionality that may take a long time to resolve. It's unclear whether Ozark's tennis court grant money will get caught up in this controversy. Also, Mr. Peters pointed out that most of the city's funding comes from sales tax, which most of you know. And this brings up my second concern. Most of our citizens' incomes, or much of our citizens' income, originates from federal spending, whether it be from salaries, contracts at Ford Novacell, or government retirement pensions and Social Security payments, or secondary business activity derived from this federal funding. According to an earlier analysis performed on FY 2019 federal expenditures, Alabama received over twice as much federal money as it sent to Washington in taxes. And that's the fourth highest ratio of states in the nation. I assume that locally, that ratio is even higher because of Ford Novacell and so forth. And as the Trump administration attempts to curtail federal spending by encouraging federal employees to resign and threatening programs like Medicare, I worry that Ozark sales tax might be threatened. After all, if people fear losing their jobs or if their pensions or Medicare are threatened, they won't be buying as much. Nationally, consumer confidence, while remaining relatively high, has deteriorated in the last couple of months. That's based on news articles. I'm also concerned about any possible adverse local economic impact resulting from retaliatory tariffs imposed on agricultural exports like peanuts and cotton. Next is the concern that federal programs might be downsized or eliminated, thereby potentially shifting burdens to state and local government. I'm not in a position to quantify that impact. Off the top of my head, I suspect that the Ozark Board of Education gets federal grants, and I understand that the Ozark Housing Authority gets most of their funding from housing and urban development. I don't want to raise fears unnecessarily, but I do think the city needs to follow federal actions and plans closely and consider which, if any, additional federal burdens the city is willing to shoulder. Having raised these concerns, I would like to encourage the council to start the process of contingency planning. The first step is to more closely monitor the actions of the new Trump administration. Their unprecedented changes are occurring very rapidly. The second step is to try to evaluate the impacts to Ozark, considering both current responsibilities and additional financial burdens that might be shifted to state and local government. Depending on the impacts, it might be necessary to reestablish priorities, identify additional sources of revenue, or consider a reduction in some services. With all this going on, I would like to encourage the city to reach out to other Wiregrass and Alabama cities because they're going through the same thing that you are. And perhaps, you might get together, join together, and remind Alabama's congressional delegation about the adverse impacts to local government if proposed administration, executive orders, and administration-sponsored legislation are enacted. After all, federal appropriation responsibility is supposed to be the responsibility of the United States Congress and not the executive branch. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is there anyone else in the audience that has any comments or questions on any subject in particular this evening?
Good evening. First of all, Madam President, again, condolences on the loss of your mother, and we'll continue to keep you and your family in our prayers.
Thank you, Director.
I just want to report back on our little one storm that we had a few weeks ago. Just kind of let y'all know how it ran down. Of course, y'all know right at the very beginning of the snowfall, we had a young lady from out of Madison County that wrecked on 231 and lost her life. That was the only serious wreck that we had during the whole event. We had about 56 calls related to the one storm. Now, of that 56 calls, it was, a few folks running off in the media, stuff like that. We transported a lot of homeless people to the warming shelter. We also done a lot, Madison Hospital probably was the biggest number of transport that we was getting people from work and to work, because they was essential that you got to have people to take care of the ones that was sick. But I just want to say overall, all of the Department of Public Safety, Public Works, and everybody works superb in assisting us. Alabama ALDOT, Department of Transportation, they was Johnny on the spot. We needed some help with traffic control. About as quick as I called them, they was there. We needed sand. About as quick as we called, they was there. And so I just want to commend them as well, along with the Sheriff Department. But I just want y'all to know, we took care of you like we say we was. And I dealt with windstorms in North Alabama all the time, and we really handled this very well here. And I just want y'all to be aware.
Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience that has any comments or questions on any subject in particular? Okay, this time I'll go to final comments, Mayor.
Okay. Just wanted to let y'all know I was in a meeting last week in Delville with most of the Novacell folks, and they are working very hard to get the gate open back up to where you'll have a scannable ID and you won't have to go through the process that we are dealing with now. Little update on the Holman House. We're still waiting to hear. We're hoping the elevator and the new doors are going to be replaced first part of this month. We're working on quotes on 3 rooms in the basement, and we're also trying to get power run to the back to that new slab that we built and to where the new stage will be when we have the upcoming event that the board's planning. We have an agreement in place on the property that we own on the airport, the part that we own. We have the agreement. We're holding to sign that. waiting on the sale of the property that Bale owns. When we get those two together, we'll be bringing that to y'all. We hope we're getting close on that, so it's been a long time coming. The tennis court grant that was mentioned earlier, we'll be starting some work over there in the next few days, probably some of the demo work, but the actual tennis court company will probably start around the first part of March. The Civic Center pressure washing and painting has started. They're on the back side, so if you go right by there, you may not see it unless you go to the back. The Flower Center, where we did the demo on the back, we're actually taking bids now on that project. Our military flag program, Heather and I've got another 40-something flags, signs that we got to put together to get up. The new Dollar General north of town, looks like they're going to be opening in the next 2 or 3 weeks. They have really made some progress on it. The chamber signs, it's on 231 and on Andrews. Ryan and his crew cut around those. We're working with Bill Durden in Dothan on redoing those signs. Of course, that's a chamber expense, but we've just been working with her to try to help design. The retention pond out of the airport, if y'all haven't been by there, you'll see Ryan and his crew spent a couple of days out there. It looks so much better out in front of the airport building. The baseball facility and batting cages that we talked about at the last meeting, those are also out for bid. And the E-Corp company has agreed to accept our proposal to sell property to them to build a 50,000 square foot warehouse. Joe and Holly and I are working with the attorneys for written times, trying to revamp our agreement to where we can make that happen. So hopefully we'll get that done in the next few days. Crow's Chicken, I know you've probably seen the sign. They're coming to the old church's building. So that's going to be a good thing. The tech center roof that y'all approved a couple of weeks ago is going to be a couple more weeks before they start, and that's mainly because of the snow and them getting behind on some projects. The building that's out here across the street where the beauty shop and apartment was, I had approached him back months and months ago about possibly doing something different there, clean that up, possibly build some tiny homes. He has come back with some interest to do that. I helped him get prices on the demo. We're working with him on trying to come up with some housing prices there, so maybe we could build about 4 tiny homes on that section and clean that up. Holly and I met with Barge one day last week. There's 2 partials, one in the industrial park that ODEC owns, and then there's 2 lots out on the airport that are side by side. There is, and y'all have heard me talk about this before, state tax credit money that is available, and Synovus has offered to help us do a project, and REA to do a project. And for those that don't know what that is, if you have a state income tax liability and you run the project through the state and get it approved, it's part of the Growing Alabama process. So they allow you to get properties ready for a project. So just say Synovus owned $500,000 in state income tax, they can take up to 50% of that if it's approved and apply it towards a local project. REA we did one with REA already on the other industrial park, and we're looking to try to do those 2. Of course, we have to go through an application process and get approved, but we just think it's while that money's available, we need to be addressing these projects and try to clean them up and get them ready. The one is about a 9-acre parcel that ODEC owned that would have to be cleared, and it's just hard to show those properties in the condition they're in. If we get them cleared and get additional lighting out there, then they'll show much better. You might have noticed in front of Marvin's out on 231 that we worked with Watson Downs to get a contractor in there to clear that. That was at Marvin's request, because if you're going north, you can't see them until you're almost past them. So they've cleared that, and then Watson Downs asked me to get with state DOT and get them to allow them to clear on the right of way. Well, DOT agreed to that today, so they're coming back, and they're going to have to hand clear most of it because it's extremely wet. But it'll help show off Marvin's a lot better when we get that done. In front of you is a piece of paper where we put together a mentoring program. The Dale County Youth Enrichment Services Council is a group that where they take kids from 16 to 24 that's dropped out of school, and they try to either help them get a GED or graduate from high school in a one-on-one process. So I went to one of their meetings and we discussed it. They're looking for places to put these kids to work once they get through this program. So we put this together and submitted it to them and it's not, in stone. I mean, we change it as we need to. But try to give these kids some exposure to our fire, police, EMS, rec department, leisure services, and that kind of thing. Well, when I sent it to them, the next morning, she responded back and said that they were so impressed with the program, they've turned it over to Coffee County and Geneva County. So if we do this, they want to participate as well. So we probably have, 12 or 14 kids in a program at a time. Well, at Wiregrass Forums on Friday, I mentioned it, the Command Sergeant Major from Novacell came over to me at the end of the meeting, and he said, we definitely want to be a part of that. So he said, I can either come to y'all or y'all can come to Novacell. But, we need these kids, we need to look at the military as well. So I think it's got a lot of potential to, give us some good employees. And along that same line, just want to let y'all know that our EMS group is full. And that's the first time that I can remember it being that way. And there's been some changes on Fort Novacell's fire department. Jason and I both been getting calls today, people wanting to leave the fire department on Fort Novacell because of some scheduling issues. So we stand a chance to really benefit from that. But just wanted to point those two things out. Also, in response to your comments, I wanted to follow up a little bit on that. I'm the chairman of Regional Planning, and that is a group that services 11 counties. Well, immediately when that order came out, I was getting phone calls from our director, and we are almost 100% federal money. We do public transportation, we do Head Start programs, and all those kind of things. So, of course, it got lifted, but we are staying on top of that big time because we know there's lots of jobs and lots of services and programs that would be shut down if the wrong thing happened. And I will tell you that we have a group called Wiregrass Forums. We meet the last Friday of every month, and that's made up of a lot of business people, a lot of elected officials. Almost every mayor around, almost every county chairman around is a part of that. And our state delegation is also a part of it. And like this last Friday, when we met, they let each city and county stand up and talk about what we had going on, but also concerns within our city or county. And then the legislative folks addressed us on what they have, local bills and things that they have. So it's a great place for us to go and work together. And the one good thing about it, there's no quorum of anybody, so there's no news media there. So we can really address them the way we need to address them if they're doing something that is harmful to city or county government. But we make a lot of headway in that meeting. But I just wanted to let you know that we're already doing some of that and trying
I just want to encourage you to keep doing it.
Yeah, it's really beneficial for us. So just wanted to let you know that. But I think that's all I have.
Mayor. Councilman Enfinger?
Just thank everybody for staying home and all during the snow and taking care. That way it made their job a lot easier. And I think people heeded to it this time better than some other times we've seen. And I want to thank all of our departments for the way they work and the conditions they were working in. And again, I want to tell you too, sorry about your loss.
Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Yes, sorry for the loss of your mother. I didn't expect you to be here. But I'm also on a couple of organizations similar to what the mayor mentioned, the Regional Planning and Development Commission Long Board. I'm not on the major board, I'm on the long board. And most of our loan monies are federal dollars. You know, they come from federal to the state at a debt, and then they filter down to the counties. So we were surprised. And also SARCOR, which is the Southeast Alabama Regional Council on Aging. The director was really shocked last Tuesday because things are kind of in an upheaval there. But, you know, we'll be staying the course, and I'd just like to inform you that some of us, the council, will be going to Montgomery next week for the Advocacy Day. And that gives us an opportunity to talk with our state delegation, you know, in that particular meeting. So we'll be advocating or lobbying, if you will, on behalf of our city.
Can the citizens do their part by contacting their congressman?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Right.
Councilman Burrell?
Yes, thank you. I just want to echo the support to our EMTs, all our first responders during that snowstorm, because it wasn't just one day, it was a number of days, and I know our pastor's house caught fire, and the roads were snowing and iced over, and I got 2 units there and took care of that. I mean, because that could have been pretty bad there. And I know he told me what a job that everybody did, and it was outstanding right here in Ozark in an unexpected snowstorm. Also, Ozzy, I want to congratulate Ozzy and our Parks and Rec department for winning the Parks and Rec Department of the Year. And I mean, that's a prestigious award for our Parks and Rec department and the job that they all do. And I just want to commend you and everybody in that department for making that happen. And then I guess that. And then tomorrow night, Carroll High basketball, they're playing in the area championship, area tournament championship game. The girls and boys, Carroll girls play at 5:30 against Eufaula, and then the boys follow that probably around 7 or so against Eufaula as well. So they win there, then they get a sub-state. If we win, we actually host the sub-state here before we go to a regional. So, but they're, like I said before many times, they're a fun team to watch. Young, three sophomores are starters, and a lot of energy and fast-paced ball. It's a lot of fun. So come out and support both the girls and the guys' Carroll basketball teams tomorrow night.
Excuse me, where?
Oh, it's here, Carroll. Carroll, yep.
Carroll High School is too.
Yep.
Councilwoman Carter?
Yes, I would just like to, try to calm your concern too about, I do sit on boards with the mayor and with Councilman Jackson, and we do have the ear of our legislators. We have an awesome wireless delegation, and they're really easy to talk to for our concerns, and we have been communicating with them, and we'll continue to do that on behalf of our citizens here in Ozark. I would also like to, not only was our Ozark Parks and Rec, honored, but they are honored also because you're the best in the state.
Yes.
For our size city,
Yeah.
which says a whole lot. We as a council have put in, I don't even know, Chris, how many thousands of dollars in improving our Ozark Rec Department. Millions in cash. We haven't taken out any debt, so that was awesome. But and I think that just goes to show that as a council we support what you as a department are trying to do for the citizens and the youth of our community. And I didn't make it to the ribbon cutting for the Eastgate renovations, but I saw all the pictures, and I really can't wait to be healthier to where I can go out there and see that in person. So yeah, there's that. And then yes, Charles Ward and Chief Brian over there, I see sitting over there. The snow days are handled awesome, and unfortunately we did have that one death, but we did have 55 other calls that didn't result in a tragic loss. So that was really good and a real testimony to our citizens staying home. I even stayed home, I got out in the snow and played, if you will, but, I wanted to drive to Stegall and go down the hill, but I did not, so. So there's that. Excited about crushed chicken, I thought that was a rumor, thought that was fake news, but here we go, another chicken joint, great. So anyway, just continue to shop local in Ozark, and the last thing that I will say is that we do have a chili cook-off coming up, February the 22nd, it's in downtown Ozark, on the lower end of the entertainment district, so if you'd like to submit your team to host a booth and cook, we've got 4 teams so far that have committed, but we'll also have a cruise in and live music and different things that night, starting at 6 o'clock that night. So just encourage you to watch everything at Ozark, that Denise Ellis is awesome with keeping us updated on what's the latest and greatest in Ozark, including our downtown entertainment district events. And thank you.
Thank you. And for me, I just want to echo everyone, so thank you to all of our departments that had a hand in keeping everything running during the snow days, snow week. Is that what we're going to call it? Snow week. It really felt like everything was suspended in time.
Madam President, the Civic Center's looking good too.
Yes, yes, it is.
I went by and looked, stop and watch that poor wheel.
Yeah, you can wait.
He doesn't need any help, so I didn't stop.
And thank you to everyone that has reached out on the loss of my mother. I would like to, if I have the podium, I'm gonna take the opportunity to thank Matt Benson and Sandy Keeball. They were actually the EMTs that responded. So it was very odd. They had no clue who I was or anything like that when they responded to my parents' house. And it actually kind of shocked me. Ozark, it was a shocking time, but I was like, Ozark EMS is here. So but they were absolutely wonderful, professional. And then after, I think it was actually when John got there, John was like, this is Brenda, she is on our city council. But they were absolutely wonderful, and thank you so much. It just goes to speak to all of our city employees that do so much all the time. I would put our city employees above any other ones. You guys don't hold a candle to, and no one holds a candle to what you guys do every day. So thank you so much. And I know a lot of times it's a thankless job. So I really, really appreciate everything that you do. So with that, I'm going to call this meeting to a close, and we'll begin the next meeting in 3 minutes. Call this meeting of the City Council of Ozark to order. We will open this evening with a prayer led by Councilman Infinger and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mayor Blankenship.
Bow your heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for your love, your mercy, and your grace, Lord. And we just thank you for blessing our cities as you did last year. And we just look forward to this coming year, Lord. Lord, we ask that you be with Brenda, Lord, in her loss, that you just put your arms around her, Lord, and just comfort her the best you can, Lord. Again, I just thank you for everyone that comes tonight, Lord, and just bless their families and be with them. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. At this time, we will review the minutes from the regular council meeting that was held on January 21st, 2025. What are the wishes of the council?
Madam President, I move that the minutes from the regular council meeting held on January 21st, 2025 be approved as presented.
Thank you. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion on approving these minutes as presented? All in favor of passing the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. At this time, we will set the agenda for this evening. What are the wishes of the council?
Madam President, I move that we set the agenda as presented.
Thank you. I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion on setting the agenda as presented? All in favor of setting the agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. So with no business tonight, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, no, just kidding. I have to go to final comments. Final comments, Mayor? Councilman Infinger? Councilman Jackson?
No.
Councilman Peralta? Councilwoman Harlan?
No.
No comments from me. So with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. I do have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion on adjourning? All in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. I call this meeting to a close.